Hi, my name is Juan Casimiro, CEO and founder of Biznovator. Welcome to Hacking COVID-19 with Biznovator 30. We have a series of 31-day, 10, maybe 15 minutes max mini workshops. These are bite-sized workshops that would allow you to have some thought-provoking ideas, thinking positive, making sure that you look at and seek out opportunities to do activities that create positive results and so on. My very first one was keeping a positive mindset and thinking positive. And then this in a series of 30 is my second one. And in this particular series, again, these are maybe anywhere from 7 to 15 minutes max that I will be posting daily on Facebook, at LinkedIn, and of course you could check us out at mybiznovator.com, where we have these online courses that deals with everything with personal growth, development, seeking out entrepreneurial opportunities, leadership, and things that you can do, in this case, while at home. And many of you are at home for the next couple of weeks, in some cases months. You know, parents are challenged just as much as the students who, you know, they're thinking about what's next. What do I do for the next 30 days? And some of you are probably going to be saying, what am I going to do for the next 60 days? But you know what? Think positive. That was the very first session that I did. And this particular session is really about don't panic. All right? Stay away from social media and just be up to date, you know, with information that you find are actual facts. I can't express how much negative information and thoughts I'm receiving every single day from friends and family, negative videos, negative thoughts, and all this corruption of the minds and so on. And this creates anxiety in some people. This creates stress, but just don't panic. I think one of the best suggestions is stay away from social media, if at all possible. Read a book, pick up a newspaper, and look at the positive side of things and go to the positive section versus just reading all this information that's out there. I am not saying don't take it serious, but just understand that you're in control of your mindset, okay? Call a friend. This is a good time to write a thank you note. This is a good time to write a thank you letter. This is a good time to spend time with family and so on. And again, don't panic. This does not mean that because we have the coronavirus, you can't go outside. You know, hang out with your parents or take your kids out for a walk in the park. Just avoid being in large groups. You know, this isolation and distancing of social interaction with others. I respect that, and I think that's the fantastic idea. But there's nothing wrong with going outside. You know, ride a bike, take a walk in the park, reflect. All right, just don't panic. If you feel that there's so much anxiety and that you're worried and concerned, again, go to the facts. Maybe you want to do your own research. You might want to call an expert on diseases and all these kinds of things. But if you look at only the social media side of things, not all of it is negative, but a lot of it is, you know, not portraying the right messages. You know, keep in touch with what's happening and so on. Look at the facts and just don't panic. Because if you panic, what's going to happen is you're going to create anxiety. And then once there's a certain amount of anxiety and nervousness, you're going to go to stress. Eventually, you're going to just kind of start going crazy with your own self. And I said in my earlier conversation, in this BizBit moment, this mini workshop, that you can control the way you think. Everything else outside of you, externally, you have no control over. Yes, follow what others are saying as far as being mindful, if you will, of this the coronavirus, and we know what's happening around the globe. But think about positive things, right? So don't panic is the second in the series, and some of the things that you can do is pick up the phone. If you feel like you're panicking or you're stressing out, pick up the phone and call a friend. Take time out. Think about mindfulness. In other words, be in the present. Live the moment. As I mentioned earlier, many of you are going to be home for 3 weeks to 30 days. And I've heard some cases in some countries, friends of mine that I have around the world, that they're not back in school until May. And it's only March. So it's about 2 months, give and take. And what do you do? What do you do for 2 months? Well, I can think of a lot of great things you can do to really empower yourself and grow that mindset, if you will. Exercise, fitness, read. There's so many things you can do to alleviate the stress that we're all facing. The coronavirus is something that we know it's global, is definitely impacting the economy, is impacting education. But the one thing I know for sure is that you are in full control of how you think. And one of the things you could do is control avoiding, in this case, panic attacks. Just relax. We've been through viruses before. We know that there are things that we need to do as in governments and people and so on. And the best thing you could do is just relax, don't panic, call a friend, talk, communicate, listen to music, take a walk with your parents, if you will, with your children, and do some fun things. Perfect time to do those old school board games, Monopoly and fun games, the game of life. What a perfect time to play that. One of my favorite games is Cash Flow for Kids and so on by Robert Kiyosaki. You could play cards. You could write a poem. Maybe you reflect and think about what's going on in your life right now and write about your story. Tell your story. Take time out and do things that in most cases schools aren't teaching. In other words, to connect with yourself. You've been driven as a teenager and in the pressures that the parents have with everything academic. But what about life? What about connecting with you? That's why this series of 30 short 7 to 10 minute workshops are designed and presented for young people in elementary, middle school, high school, college, adults as well. It's wide open because I keep getting phone calls and text messages from parents asking, what do I do now for 30 days? I've never faced this before. And I say, yes, you have. You've had your kids during the summers, right? Where there's a lot of options during the summer, such as summer camps and so on, except that this time is stay home time. I highly recommend that you stay home, but also go outside. Just avoid large groups. Social, development is important. Today, because of technology, you can do some of that online as well. But stay in touch for more information as to how you could be empowered and create that growth mindset and connect with personal growth and personal gains and reflect and discover your passion, transform your mindset and connect to your future. You could do all of this at mybiznovator.com. Pick up a book, something that's positive. Read as a family, share stories, play games, write poems, all kinds of things that you can do to make this a wonderful experience regardless of the tough times that we're facing. So this is the series. It's Hacking COVID-19 with Biznovator 30. Check us out at mybiznovator.com for information with all the workshops we've designed to help you grow and develop and so on. Don't remain stagnant. I'm sure a lot of you are getting some extra sleep. I know I am. But that's not necessarily a good thing for some people, people like me who are so active and so on. I still get my good sleep, but I'm home. I'm discovering new things about myself. I want to share it. I'm airing it out with you. Putting out this series of 30 days is a challenge. When I'm home, I'm no longer than maybe 3 hours during the day at home. I'm always out and about. That's just my personality. And here I am, stuck in my home doing great things because you got to create things, right? So you got to make things happen. And they always say that in times of crises lies an opportunity. Check us out, mybiznovator.com.